Well, how's it going today, folks? I'm Braap and welcome back to the Braap Shack. Today we're going to continue on with the 99 TRX 300. I was just about to start throwing the ass end back together, and I figured I'd flip on the camera and showed you the first half. Might as well show you the fun half. So, yeah, let's get to it. So, first things first, I'll get this boot back on there. She's all bent out of fucking shape there. There we go, that's a little better. Alright, so now, okay, so there's one. Now, you need to take the swing arm and go chukka chukka, and it should chukka chukka in there, and then we need to use a couple of my homemade tools to tighten her all back up. I don't know if I showed that. I don't think I did. I'll have to give the camera a quick see, but I'm thinking may have to just hang out in here for now. And then this guy will go in there like that. There we go. See? Nothing to it. For fuck's sakes. Jesus Christ. Okay, so now I suppose these little fingers in here. This very well. All upside down and shit. Anyway, what we're going to do there is get. Oh, look at that gnarly thumb. There we go. gonna try and get this boot on. It's probably why there's tabs here. You're probably supposed to put it on here first. Use these tabs to pull it that way, but if you've seen any of my videos, you know I like to struggle. Hence the fight with the rear swing arm. Like the plug on both sides is supposed to come out, but because I had to make my own fucking Allen key, because I didn't have I think it's 17 mil. I didn't have a 17 mil Allen key, so I took a bolt. I had 17 mil head, right, and then I put a nut on it, and I made sure that that nut could not come off. Then I just put a 17 mil socket on the nut, shoved the bolt in where the Allen key was required, and yeah, spun it out that way. You fucking bitch, you. Okay, so the two things I had to make was for this guy, as I was saying, 17 mil Allen key. So that's a 17 mil bolt. And we got a couple nuts on there. Now we use 9/16 socket to put in a 17 mil Allen key. The other thing I had to make was there's this locking collar nut dude that goes over that. Take a socket, I had to shave it down on the outside just a hair. I had to cut these sections out of it, and yeah, so let's go see if we can get this fucking thing back in there. Maybe. And it goes right there. Kinda got her started a little bit. Alright. So now we have a fucking swing. My kid's gonna be home from school any minute, so I suppose that I'm gonna do a quick little cleanup and we'll come back out here in a few. Yeah, be back in a bit. Okay, well, we're back. We're gonna continue on with this this rear end here on the TRX 300. Yesterday we muscled the swing arm into place. It didn't want to cooperate coming out, and it didn't want to cooperate going back in, so typical. But now we'll get the diff back in. Remember, there's a spring that goes inside of the drive shaft here. I think it's supposed to stay. Yeah, it just kind of clips in there. There we go. Now, I don't know. I say this all the time. I don't know whether it calls for it or not, but I like to use Loctite everywhere, on just about everything. At least the blue. Okay. $14 boys and girls. Torque spec on these is 2 grunts, past finger tight. Okay, 2 grunts. Or if you're using a 3/8 impact, probably 1.5 gugatas. If you're using a bigger impact, maybe go with just 1 little guga. So next we got O-ring go right there. Take a little dab of grease. That just helps it stay where it's to. Just then, once again, a little bit of Loctite, can't hurt. Snugged up. Now we can throw on our brake. little bit of Loctite on them bolts, studs. So I suppose the next thing that we could do, could probably throw on the shock. Probably could have did that a while ago. This is Bronco gas shock, upgraded as per request of the owner. Bumping you guys around. I don't even know if you're still fucking looking in the right place here. Hit the camera about 10 times now. What we're gonna do, because I don't like putting grease anywhere inside of a brake assembly, but I don't want the brake cams, or the brake cam I should say, being just dry, right? But you don't want to put grease inside of there. Anti-seize will stay where you put it. It won't, like grease, it won't get hot. Grease will get hot and it'll start running and moving around the brake assembly, and it'll get places you don't want it. Anti-seize is relatively unaffected by heat. There we go. Now I'm gonna give these shoes a little squirt. Rag-ish. Yeah. And then same thing with the drum. Give it a quick squirt, a quick wipe. Look at that. Now, what we're gonna do, because this O-ring around here was chowdered, so is the sealing flange. This groove where the O-ring goes, we're going to give it a little shot of our TV. Yeah, see, when I pointed out all these issues with the brake to the owner, the point is that we want to get this machine running, right? This machine was only worth $800 to the owner. That's how much he got it for. And we're trying to, put it back on the trails without spending ridiculous amounts of money. Like as you can see, it's got, $800 worth of brand new tire on it, and so the quad, it is going to get treated well, as long as all goes well and we get it running and it drives and operates okay. Then we'll probably come through and we'll get a whole new brake assembly, and we'll finish making it happy. But for now, one issue at a time. We're fixing the four-wheel drive. We're making it run. Well, it always ran, but we're gonna make it a little happier. And then now, because there's missing chunks, we're gonna give it a little shot of RTV right around the flange. I suppose I probably should have had this axle in here already. Yep. These, and put it on these splines. CNCs on the threads. I've heard people say that you have to tighten this side first. I've heard other people say that you don't, but I always do. For this side, got this ring.
What's that, just a lock nut?
Yeah. Close enough. Well, guys, we got her back together. At some point, my uncle came in there. I think he kicked over the camera, and she stopped recording. And I finished throwing her back together real quick because you may have heard there part of the conversation. I had to go and look at the job. So, there she is. She's all tightened down, brakes work, everything's in there back together. New Bronco shock. Yeah, I gave the engine a squirt with the brake clean. It was covered in oil, and then I found that the exhaust manifold bolts were finger tight, so that's where all the oil and black soot and shit was coming from. It was just spewing out and getting blown back on the engine. So, because I was thinking that the head gasket or the cylinder gasket were shot, but or even the valve cover gasket, but I don't think that's the case. I think it was just the exhaust. Yeah, so there is more to come on this machine, but this is phase one, which was getting it mechanically back on the road or on the trail. So mechanically this machine is ready to go. It's missing body pieces and needs new seat cover. So phase 2 is in the works, but phase 1 of the mechanical repairs of this bike are now complete. So we'll probably see this bike more when the owner decides to buy some panels and a rack and some parts that are no longer produced by Honda that we need to track down. The luggage rack there is no longer produced, so we need to find a good used one or some old stock or something. So it might be a bit to track down some of these parts, but we're gonna make this thing beautiful again. So until then, that's a wrap. Have a gooder, folks.